Visitors seeking a unique blend of quiet and excitement will find it easy to go about in Saudi Arabia's spectacular towering dunes and long sand valleys, which are widely accessible to vacationers. There are multiple deserts in Saudi Arabia, each with giant windswept dunes surrounded by mountains and breathtaking landscape, and each with its own climate. Here are a few examples to consider. Rub' Khali, which translates as empty quarter, is a region in southern Saudi Arabia that is devoid of people. Rub' Khali has a land area of 650,000 square kilometers, which is larger than the total land areas of France, Belgium, and the Netherlands combined. Rub' Khali has a population of around 500,000 people. This area also happens to be the second most oil-rich in the world. Saudi Arabia's most famous and largest dune field, Al Nufat Al Khabr, is around 701,000 meters tall and the largest and most well-known globally. Aside from that, it has a land area of 10,600 square kilometers. As a result, when combined with other dry areas, the overall land area is around 900,000 square kilometers in size. Saudi Arabia produces a significant amount of its electricity by burning oil, a practice that has subsequently been abandoned by other countries. In 2013, most of Saudi Arabia's power plants and air conditioners used 70% of the country's total energy output. Despite having a population of just 30 million people, the monarchy is the world's sixth largest oil consumer. Because of its enormous desert expanses, Saudi Arabia receives between 2,900 and 3,600 hours of sunlight every year. That is approximately 3 times the total amount of sunlight received by Germany in a year. So, what if we had a way to convert all this solar into energy, namely electrical energy? Yes, you were accurate in your guess. By erecting solar electric power plants. Let us take a deeper look at what is going on. Discovering a clean, sustainable energy source is the major purpose of employing solar panels to generate power for home use. Because of Saudi Arabia's geographical position, it is easier to send electricity to Europe and the Middle East. As nuclear power plants create garbage and radioactive waste, they contribute to global warming and climate change. Nuclear power plants also contribute to global warming and climate change. Clean energy is energy that produces no pollutants or pollution-related emissions. The desert floor covered with enormous solar panels boosts the area's precipitation by 20 millimeters to 500 millimeters per year, resulting in an increase in plant coverage of around 20% in the area. The solar panels absorb far more sunlight than the light-colored desert sand, resulting in a significant amount of light and heat being reflected into the air. As the temperature of the earth increases, so does the temperature of the air in contact with the solar panels. The moisture in the air condenses and falls as rain in the colder top layers of the atmosphere, modifying the world's worst climates and extending green zones in deserts, according to the United Nations. There are several drawbacks as well as some benefits to using this method. Sandstorms in the desert cause sand to accumulate on solar panels, reducing their capacity to absorb solar energy and reducing their overall efficiency. Solar panels that dirty diminish their capacity to harvest solar energy. In a desert location with little access to water, cleaning these panels may be difficult. However, although the creation of electrical power from solar panels in the desert is fantastic, getting that energy to the rest of the globe may prove to be a huge obstacle. Electricity lines and networks must be installed, which might be prohibitively costly in certain parts of the nation. The transfer of electrical energy over long distances results in energy losses of up to 10%, which adds to the cost of an already expensive project that is already over budget. Concentrated solar energy seems to be a more cost-effective alternative to conventional solar panels. It employs lenses or mirrors to focus the sun's energy onto a single point, which gets extremely hot because of the concentrated energy. The heat generated is subsequently used to create electricity via conventional steam turbines. Some systems employ molten salt to store thermal energy, allowing them to generate electricity even when the sun is not shining. There is a massive electrical distribution network in Saudi Arabia that links all the country's cities and villages. In addition to transmission lines, the company has 52,000 miles of distribution lines and about 53,000 miles of service connections. The quantity of energy used in Saudi Arabia is expected to be approximately 289 terawatt-hours in 2020. This increased over the previous year when the country used around 246.6 terawatt-hours of electricity. Water desalination facilities are being utilized by the kingdom to generate power from the steam produced by the desalination process. The kingdom produces around 26,300 megawatt of power, of which 2,800 megawatt are desalinated. According to the World Bank, Saudi Arabia intends to produce 50% of its power via desalination facilities. With 105 trillion kilowatt-hours of sunshine each day, the kingdom gets the most powerful solar radiation, equivalent to almost 10 billion barrels of crude oil. Saudi Arabia has made a variety of initiatives to reduce its reliance on oil and increase its reliance on renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and nuclear power to power its economy. By 2032, the government expects to spend $108.9 billion to construct 41 gigawatt of solar-powered energy generation capacity. SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son announced plans to invest in Saudi Arabia's largest solar power complex, which may have a capacity of up to 200 gigatons by 2030. Over the forecast period, the renewable energy market in Saudi Arabia is estimated to increase at a compound annual growth rate (CAGR) of more than 24.2%. The annual growth in power usage has a negative impact on the amount and profitability of the country's oil exports. Saudi Arabia is reorganizing its power sector to reduce its reliance on oil for electricity production, while also speeding the development of renewable energy sources. Saudi Arabia has established a new renewable energy target of generating and installing 58.7 gigawatt of clean energy sources over the next decade, which is likely to increase demand throughout the forecasted time. However, because of the significant government subsidies provided to their citizens, the profit margin for renewables producers is reduced, making it fundamentally unprofitable to develop alternative energy sources for consumer use in the country, thereby slowing the expansion of the Saudi renewable energy sector. If you like the video, do give a thumbs up to the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification icon. Also, tell us what topics we should cover in our upcoming videos. Thanks a lot. Stay blessed. Stay safe.